Now, some things happen in this world that can leave you really horrified. Like this truly tragic case in Illinois. When 5 members of the same family died in the most gruesome way, no one would have believed that the person responsible could be so young and innocent.
I don't know what's worse, hearing him scream or when it stopped.
This is the story of the world's youngest arsonist murderer. Katrina Alwood, or Katie as she was popularly known, was still in high school when she gave birth to her son Kyle in 2009. Her relationship with Kyle's dad ended in 2015 when the boy was only 6 years old. Soon after, she met a guy named Jason Wall, an Army veteran who is now working as a truck driver. Jason and Katie had grown up in the same town and they had even attended the same high school. However, they never interacted because Jason was 7 years older. But as soon as they met, the two really hit it off and even moved in together. Jason completely embraced Kyle and took him as his own. Soon, the couple was blessed with 2 more children, a son called Daemeon in 2016 and a daughter called Ariel in 2017. During this time, Katie's maternal grandma, Kathryn Murray, came to live with them. In 2018, Katie and Jason moved with their 3 children and grandmother to a trailer house at Timberline Mobile Park Home near Goodfield, Illinois. Katie's parents lived in the trailer next to them with Katie's younger sister Samantha and her 1-year-old daughter Rose. The 2 households mostly kept to themselves except for special occasions when they would all come together to celebrate. Like when Katie and Jason got engaged. The children would also play and spend time together in any of the 2 houses. On April 6th, 2019, at around 11 p.m., Katie ran a bath after putting her children to sleep. She was in the bathroom with Rose, who had come to visit, while the rest of their family were in their rooms fast asleep. Just as she was about to step into the tub, she smelled something burning, and then the smoke detector went off. She quickly grabbed Rose and went out to investigate. She was shocked to find the trailer filled up with smoke and was about to head to the kids' beds when suddenly there was an explosion and everything went blank. When she came to, she found Jason dragging her outside and then rushed back to get the children. Meanwhile, Katie's oldest son Kyle had also managed to escape and had gone to his grandparents' house to ask for help. His grandparents heard him banging on the door and screaming at the top of his lungs that the house was on fire. They immediately called 911 and all rushed outside to help. All the other neighbors were woken up by the commotion and came out to help, but the fire was so huge no one could dare go near it. They watched helplessly and heard the screams of people inside begging for help. The firefighters arrived 6 minutes later, but by then, it was too late. All 5 people inside, including Jason, his son, his daughter, their cousin, and their great-grandma, had all died of smoke inhalation. Only Katie and her son Kyle had escaped unharmed. The 2 were taken to the hospital, but were released soon after. Everyone in the trailer park was totally shaken up by the incident. They could not understand how something so tragic could happen in this area. The screams of the people dying inside could not get out of their heads. Katie was beyond devastated. She had lost 2 children, her fiance, her niece, and her grandmother in just one night. In an emotional interview, she recalled how she stood at the window of the burning home and told her toddler son and daughter that she was sorry she could not save them.
I stood at the window and I told my kids I was sorry I couldn't save them. Mommy was right here and I loved them, so at least hopefully they heard that. I told Jason I love him, I'll always love him.
She also talked about hearing her fiance scream and choked back tears, remembering the moment the screams stopped.
I don't know what's worse, hearing him scream or when it stopped.
Katie's sister Samantha, whose daughter also died in the fire, talked about the pain she went through after losing Bella.
She made my days better, and it hurts her not being here.
But where did the fire come from? Now, everyone wanted to know what caused the devastating blaze. Was it an accident? Did anyone start it on purpose? If so, who would do such an evil thing? But when the truth finally came out, everyone was shocked. The revelation came 6 months after the tragic accident. Investigators found out that the fire had been started deliberately, meaning that someone had intentionally caused the death of 5 people. But who? The answer was unbelievable. Do you remember little Kyle? Yes, Katie's firstborn son, who wasn't even 10 yet, would you believe it if I told you that he started the fire? Yeah. He was actually charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of arson, and 1 count of aggravated arson. These are really serious charges for someone that young, and it attracted a lot of national and international attention. Kyle was the youngest person to face such serious charges, and many people were concerned that he might not even understand the gravity of the situation. Some people even accused the prosecutor of abusing his powers.
It's difficult to understand how a 9-year-old would have the state of mind to know that their action would result in a death.
But the prosecutor defended his decision, saying, "It was a heavy decision. It's a tragedy, but at the end of the day, it's charging a very young person with one of the most serious crimes we have. But I just think it needs to be done at this point for finality." Due to Kyle's age, the authorities decided not to release his name or any information about him. But after the charges were filed, Katie came out and identified the suspect as her son, Kyle. This was a big mistake. While I understand that Katie was traumatized and did what she thought was doing the right thing, exposing her young son like that was really bad. Katie tried defending him, saying that he was not a monster but a loving boy who deserved a second chance.
Everyone is looking at him like he's some kind of monster, but that's not who he is.
She said that Kyle had been diagnosed with mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and ADHD, and called the incident a mistake and a horrible tragedy.
People make mistakes, and that's what this is. Yes, it was a horrible tragedy, but it's still not something to throw his life away over.
Katie said that she still believed Kyle should be punished for his action, but said her family had already suffered enough.
I did lose, my family too, but I forgive him. I love him, no matter what.
She admitted that Kyle had shown interest in lighters and fires, but she hoped the judge would consider his mental condition. But her sister Samantha disagreed. She believed that Kyle should get a harsher punishment because he knew what fire could do.
I think he should go somewhere until he's legal age to go to juvie. Then I think he should go to juvie, and then from juvie to prison.
And Jason's brother, John Wall, also shared the same sentiment, saying, "I don't think he deserves leniency." A gag order was later placed to prevent those involved in the case from talking about it outside the courtroom, but the damage had already been done. Everyone knew Kyle and what he had done. So Kyle appeared in court in October to face his criminal charges, and I gotta tell you guys, it was really heartbreaking. The judge said that it was the hardest case he'd ever done. The boy was so small that you could hardly see him through the back of his chair, and his feet barely touched the ground. He looked so confused and scared that his lawyer had to explain some of the judge's words, such as alleged, arson, and residence. As he left the courtroom, Kyle burst into tears at the severity of what he had done finally dawned on him. The judge later found him unfit to stand trial. Unfit to stand trial, or unfit to plead, means that you are unable to properly defend yourself against your charges due to mental illness or disability. In Kyle's case, the doctor who evaluated him reported that he would not be fit to stand trial for more than a year. And if he's ever found guilty of the crime, he will be given a minimum of 5 years probation and not go beyond the age of 21, where he will have to undergo therapy, counseling, and a psychological evaluation. But whatever happens, it will not erase the fact that 5 innocent people lost their lives that night for nothing. Jason, a devoted father who loved all his children, including Kyle. He had several tours of duty in Korea, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and loved spending time with his family. Kathryn was an artist who enjoyed drawing and sewing. She also loved to cook and spend time with her family, most especially her grandchildren. Daemeon loved the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and Goofy was his favorite character. He said he was going to be very protective of his little sister, Ariel. She wasn't even a year old and loved to growl and make Chewbacca sounds with her dad. And Rose, who loved the Disney film Coco. She also loved doing arts and crafts projects with her grandma and was especially known for photobombing her mother. They all did not deserve such a tragic ending, and especially not in the hands of their own kin. Kyle is now 12 years old and living with his paternal grandparents, who became his foster guardians following a custody battle in which his mom lost her parental rights. Officials are reportedly deciding whether his dad can care for him. Now, Guys, this is a truly tragic case, but it does not end there. There have been a lot of mixed reactions to this case. While some people feel bad for Katie and her family, others have even accused her of planning the whole thing and letting her son take the fall. This feels super unfair, you guys. I mean, the woman just lost almost her entire family, and her only remaining son was accused of murder. Even though things may seem a type of way on the news, we never know the full story. If the investigators had a reason to believe Katie was responsible, they would have done something. Nobody in this situation wants to lock up a boy Kyle's age for something so terrible. But what do you guys think of this case? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section.